Hi, welcome back to the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm your host Angelina. So in the past episodes, we have covered from the 48 vows, we have covered the first until the fifth vow. So today we shall continue with the sixth and in fact 6, 7 and 8, okay? Because 6, 7 and 8 is within one paragraph itself. Alright, so we shall read. 我做佛时 when I become the Buddha, 所有众生 all beings 生我国者 those who reincarnated, okay, or migrated will be a better word when it comes to Pure Land, okay? 生我国者 who migrated to Amitabha's Pure Land. 智之无量界是宿命 you'll be able to know about the destiny of your countless lifetimes. 所作善恶 all the good and the bad that you have done, okay? 皆能动视 you'll be able to see. 确定 you'll be able to hear. 知十方去来现在之事 okay, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to hear everything that is going on within the 10 directions. 10 directions means all directions, okay, and in fact up and down, the past and the future. 不得誓愿不取正觉 if I don't get this vow, I will not become a Buddha. Okay, and Amitabha Buddha has become a Buddha, so we know that this vow has already come to realization. Okay, so let's see why is it that this is important. Okay, why did Amitabha Buddha, with all his wisdom, he has these vows, this 5, 6, and 7, 8, 6, 7, and 8. Sorry. Vow number 6, you'll be able to know your everything of all your lifetimes. Vow 7, you'll be able to have 天眼通, that means your divine eyes. And then vow 8 is 天耳通, that means you can hear everything. Sometimes we call it as supernatural powers. Okay, you can see, you can hear. Okay, we have to understand that reincarnation is real. Okay, when we're talking about reincarnation, we're talking about the existence from one to another. Right now, our lifetimes is probably like, say, average 80 years old for each person. Okay, average. And some, what is the oldest age of the person of the of a person on Earth itself? 138 or something. Okay, and what is the youngest age? The youngest age can be just within hours of birth, right? So why is it that there can be such situations? If we talk about the existence of a creator, if you're talking about a creator that is responsible for creating beings, then this creator is really, you just can't trust him, because how can you create somebody, a living being, to let him live for only an hour or lesser than an hour, maybe upon birth, then he has to die? And why is it that you are so unfair? Okay, why is there favoritism for somebody to be able to live to 100? If you were to say that there is a creator, this doing all this unfairness, then what is fair? Right? So you can't say that there is a creator. You can't blame anybody for the calamities that is related to our lifespan. Okay, but you have to, if you relate it back to reincarnation, okay, so you'll be able to understand that due to certain reasons, there is a cause, and therefore there is an effect. The cause for longevity, okay, it is about you being harmless to other people, you giving an opportunity for others to live, and the cause for short lifespan is your extinguishing of other people's lifespan during your previous lifetimes. Okay, and how does that work? Within our 6 rooms of existence, okay, we have been reincarnating over and over again. It's like a cycle, an unending cycle. Okay, never ending cycle. You can, even if you talk to me right now, like I myself, I couldn't say, I couldn't even guarantee that my past lifetime I was a human. I don't know, right? So how can you guarantee that you were something good in your past lifetime? Okay, anybody who has committed the acts of killing, okay, that killing is actually the first precept that we have to abide by. We don't kill. And when you are in a habit, like for example, now a lot of people are discussing about war, and you see a lot of countries, right, where some of their lawmakers are advocating for the, you know, unlawful ways of taking away other people's ability, the rights to live, okay, through wars. So this kind of cause, do you think that this person actually deserves a longer lifespan? Of course they won't, right? Because the karmic seed has already been planted. Okay, could be this lifetime, could be the next lifetime. I've always maintained, okay, when it comes to talk about metaphysics, I've always maintained you won't know how good or how bad it is going to be until the very last day of your life. Okay, until the point where you breathe your last breath. Then only you will know whether the person is a good person or a bad person. If somebody can be also good in front of the public, in public eye, but why is it that, towards the end of it, you're getting older and, suffering from poor health that was unreasonable given the kind of wealth that they have. Okay, I've known of one person who had, in public, people were saying that, praising him for his generosity, okay, and saying that he has done a lot, especially for education, So, yeah, his family donated a lot for education. But at the end, right now, okay, when he was still supposedly others of his age are still able to be, like still healthy and whatnot, but his health suddenly deteriorated. Okay, this happened at a time when he suddenly committed a grave karmic offense. Okay, you see, this person was actually supposedly a donor, and he is also one who has other businesses. Of course, he has businesses so that he can earn, and he does his charity. At first, things were good, things were rosy, until one day, the one of the developments that he made could not be sold out. Okay, so being part of the education, the institution, as one of the directors who have been donating, what happened was the family decided that since a building that they could not sell out is actually holding them, the cash is tight because they couldn't sell. Not strange at all if you were to look at the situation of that building. There were not no sufficient parking lots, and there were too many offices. Then of course, who will want to be renting or even buying the lots over there? But instead of taking this as a business loss, the family had decided to use the funds that were collected by public donations, including their own, navigate it so that the institution that they were supporting actually buy up the lots that they couldn't sell. Okay, this is a grave karmic offense. Okay, because um, the public trusted. That's why they donated, and by removing that money and to use it to save your own company, that is a grave offense. Okay, so while probably they are able to navigate that in human laws, okay, you can just do some accounting, right? Although I won't encourage it, but there are people who will do some accounting to it and then making it justifiable. At the same time, this is already a karmic offense. So since then, his health deteriorated suddenly. Okay, he is barely mobile now. Okay, and sometimes it may seem as if he's senile. Alright, so I can't reveal who that is, right? But it's happening. Okay, if we were to talk about karmic associations, okay, reincarnation is not just a theory. Okay, it is real. So when we're talking about reincarnation, so in the lifespan of this person that I spoke of just now, at the time of his death, he before his death, now he is in his old age. By right, old age should be a time when people can enjoy their life. Okay, in pension, in relaxation, looking at everything with ease. But he is suffering illness. So upon his death, he still needs to suffer because at his judgment day, okay, after death, there's always a judgment. He still needs to pay the penalty for this fraud, okay, for this misuse of the funds, of the public funds, because the funds does not only include his own donations, but the donations of other well-wishers who had thought that they were donating to education. Okay, so there is always these consequences, and then yeah, he'll still need to pay for it. In fact, the family members of whoever that had encouraged this will also be paying for it. And in another instance, for example, okay, I have seen one lady, her forehead was dark. It's not that she's tan or anything, but her forehead was dark in the sense of the aura. Okay, so she met with a master, a Tibetan master, and upon interviewing and checking what's wrong with her, she revealed that a ghost was raping her every night. Okay, so if these kind of things happen, you will start to wonder, why is it that this ghost targets her? Okay, is she the prettiest person around? Actually, not really. Okay, looks can be very subjective. And if you're talking about an alley, a back lane, okay, this ghost upon investigation was actually a ghost at the back lane of her house. Back lane of houses, usually it is the back lane of two facing houses, right? Not one alley and then one house facing that side, another house facing this side. So it's the back lane for two houses at least. So why this lady and not anyone else in the household? And why not the other house? Okay, so if this kind of things happen, you start to wonder, why is it that the ghost become her? Did she offend him in any way? Well, if you're talking about backling, probably you throwing rubbish, okay? But will it be you the only one who throws the rubbish? Impossible, right? So, what could have offended? If you're talking about being offended, then it is still not able to truly um, give justice for him to do that to her every night. So, what we're looking at is the past karmic association between these two beings. Okay, one who is currently a human, the other one who stayed in a ghost realm. Okay, so there are past karmic relationships to that. The solution for this, I'm not going to talk about it in this video. Okay, because this video is about the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. So I'm explaining all this because in the sixth vow, we're talking about you being able to know your destinies of all your previous lifetimes. Okay, all the previous lifetimes, then you'll be able to benefit understanding a few things. First, that reincarnation is real. Okay. Second, everything is based on karma. Okay, everything based on karma, and all relationships are based on four kinds of relationships. The one where you come here to claim a debt, the one where the other person comes and claim a debt from you, one where you want to repay a gratitude, and the other where you want to receive the gratitude that you have done before. Okay? So it's just based on these four relationships. So these four relationships, it will explain, okay, how some people, when we're talking about, especially about children, why the children die so easily. If you attribute this to a creator, then it is absolutely illogical. Why would the creator be so cruel as to create a child who is intelligent, who should have a bright future ahead, and then suddenly you just take away the life? It's not right, correct? So it's not necessarily about creator. Okay, you don't have a particular creator for that. If you want to talk about the concept of creator, then it has to be karma as the creator, because the karma will determine your next lifetime. The karma will determine whether you're going to enjoy or are you going to suffer. Okay, the karma, your positive seeds will reap positive results, and if you have negative seeds, then you reap negative results. So that's why it is not a human creator or not a God creator, but more of your karma creates your future. Okay, even when you're talking about all the other gods out there, okay, all the deities, the bodhisattvas, and every one of them, they too are subjected to karma until they are already able to transcend and become a Buddha by themselves. In fact, the Buddha himself is also subjected to karma. Remember when we read one of the Jataka stories, right? Um, in the past, the Buddha had hurt someone before, Devadatta, and then Devadatta, when hurled, uh, he rolled a rock from high ups, trying to hurt our Lord Gautama Buddha. The rock hurt his toe. Okay, the rock rolled over his toe and his toe was hurt. So that was the only. He was also paying for his past karma at that time. Okay, because he hurt Devadatta before, but Devadatta caused that hurt to his toe. Okay, so even the Buddha himself cannot escape from the laws of the karma. So which means all of us, we should be aware, we should be doing good rather than doing bad. Okay, so we get to know our karma, and based on this also, we will being able to see all the past lifetimes. We will not hold a grudge anymore because we understand that whatever happened to us today was actually due to the past bad things that we have done to other people. Okay, so we cannot be blaming science, we cannot be blaming another person, because all these things were actually done by us in our past lifetimes. Okay, so since there is such strong conviction for the understanding of how karma works, then you'll be able to calm yourself down and know that, oh, today I'm suffering this because of my past karma. Oh, today I enjoy, my destiny is good. It's because my past karma allowed me to enjoy it. Okay? So maybe that, oh, I'm able to do this right now is because, oh, I didn't realize that I have done that kind of merits, and now the fruits is actually coming back to me. It is, I'm reaping the fruits of my good deeds done in the past. Okay? So knowing it, then your entire person calms down. You will have no blame for those who you used to perceive as enemies. Okay, so that one is your sixth file. Okay, to be able to see your everything, your destiny of your past lifetimes, your good deeds and your bad deeds, every single thing. Okay? And then the seventh vow and the eighth vow. One is to have the divine eyes to be able to see all kind of directions, up, down, sideways, north, south, east, west, north, east, south, east, northwest, southwest, up and down, everything from the past to the present. You'll be able to see everything as clearly as daylight, as clearly as if it is happening right in front of you, not even through a television screen. Okay? They don't need screens over there. It's right in front of you. Okay? And you can not only see, you will be able to hear. You have to understand that intrinsically, okay, originally we are all Buddhas. Okay, we are all Buddhas. And the sad thing is, after so many lifetimes, we have polluted ourselves. Okay, previously I've always talked about these onions. Okay, when you open up onions layer by layer, right up to the end of it, there is this tiny little seed. Okay, assume this tiny little seed as your Buddha seed. Okay, the Buddha within yourself. And so many lifetimes, so many layers have created that big onion. So what we do is that once we strip it off, okay, all these layers, as a Buddha, we originally have the ability, the supernatural powers of being able to see and being able to hear everything. Okay? Is it going to be really noisy? Not at all. Okay? So your is not even a gained supernatural power. It is your natural supernatural power, okay, that you have within you. But we lost it today because of all the education, because we are taught that we can only see as far as the physical object is there. Okay, we cannot see beyond the world. We are taught that way, okay, by the ways of the world. We are taught so many things that we have lost our natural abilities. So once you have already discarded the layers of layers, remember when you go to Western Pure Land, when you go to Amitabha's Pure Land, automatically you are already at your a certain level of Bodhisattva. Okay, you don't even start from scratch. If you start from scratch, you have five asankheyas to become a Buddha, and midway you may actually drop out. But in Amitabha's Pure Land, you only need three asankeyas, so you get into what we call the advanced class. You advance two asankeyas, okay, and then you become a, a bodhisattva, okay, to a certain level, and you look exactly the same as Amitabha Buddha as we have shared in the previous video. Okay, so you have the ability to once again revive your natural capabilities of divine eyes and divine ears. Okay, so a lot of times when some of you actually, you are able to see through the human heart, they say that is actually just one of the many things. If you take somebody who analyzes everything scientifically without using any intrinsic um, senses, senses, conscience, consciousness, okay, without using your inner understanding. Like for example, if you were to look at a set of numbers, okay, beautiful set of numbers, and if you are supposedly experienced, even if you don't have evidence for it, you look at the numbers, you say that there is hanky-panky in this account, right? So there will be such um, sixth sense, okay, some call it experience, but there are things where it is not even an experience, okay. For example, if you were to go to, I don't know, some of you, including myself, we may feel certain things when we go to certain places. Like for example, when we went to a shopping mall, okay, me and my husband, we went to a shopping mall, and at first it was like, oh, okay, but when we start going towards the ground floor level, the basement level, okay, that's where the supermarket is. The basement level, I felt dizzy. Okay, I felt uneasy, I felt dizzy, I felt like there is an overcrowding. I felt nauseous. No, it's like my head is spinning. And without talking about it at that time, I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him until when we exited the supermarket. We went to the shopping uh, parking lot. The moment we got up again to the higher floors, I felt better. Was it the air? Was it the ambience? I don't think so. Okay, but it felt better. And after we have exited the shopping lot, the parking lot, then only I felt. I told him, I don't feel well, and then he also shared that he didn't feel natural when we were towards that basement area. Okay, when we were walking at the basement area, he didn't feel well as well. Okay, and I was feeling dizzy. He didn't feel well, so we were able to conclude that there is something there because I am a bit more sensitive to these kind of things. Okay, and he also has a certain kind of sensitivity to these kind of things. So that's why if let's say we further enhance through meditation or through whatever ways that can actually focus ourselves, then we may be able to even see. Okay, so this seeing, the all-seeing eye, the divine eye, is not just about seeing what is at the other room. Okay, what is beyond the wall. It is about being able to see all dimensions. Okay, every single dimension. It could be the dimension of a ghost room. It could be a dimension of the heavenly realm. It could be any dimension. You'll be able to hear, and not just hear, you'll be able to understand. You'll be able to understand the language of the animals. You'll be able to understand the language of the insects, of the plants, of everything. Okay, so this understanding is actually our intrinsic skill that we have lost, or I won't say lost, it's still inside in your real Buddha, okay? But it is inhibited because it is covered by layers and layers of polluted knowledge. Okay? So after you have been able to open up your divine eye and open up your divine ears, you'll be able to see and hear all that so many things around you. And you'll be able to know, right? There can be so many people and voices and the things that they do. You'll be able to see that why you can, it's just like your social media these days. You see some people, oh, why did this person actually do such stupid things? Okay. Or maybe, oh, applause for this person who has done this good. There will be all kinds of things that you'll be able to see. That is your natural ability that you have forgotten. Yes, forgotten is the right word. Okay. Forgotten due to all the polluted knowledge of the world. Okay, so these are the three vows, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so in the next video, we will continue with the next vows. The next vows will be the uh, number 9. Okay, only number 9. Okay, so we'll meet again in the next video. Yes, number 9. Number 9 is interesting. Okay, so I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye.